Hello, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, founder of Van Nordic Press, a small publishing company, comic book company, founded in 1985. Creator of such comics as Ninja High School, Marvel Mangaverse, Warrior Nun, Tomorrow Girl, and a host of other books. So, today's Friday, coming up to a weekend. Gonna be pretty busy this weekend. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things. Um, I'm going to be at Dragon's Lair in San Antonio for Free Comic Books Day, the one near the medical center. So if you want to come by, say hello and pick up a commission, perhaps some comics. That would be lovely. So trying to do this every day can be a bit of a daunting task. 'Cause, I rack my brain sometimes trying to figure out what should I talk about. You know, I don't really want to talk about what's the latest in entertainment, and because it's everyone sort of does that already. I mean, I'll pop in every once in a while an opinion about a particular thing that's going on that I may find either I support or I find egregious, to some extent. So, and I'm trying to avoid being negative. It's I see a lot of negativity going on in this world. I mean, I'll be honest. There's been a lot of conflict and negativity throughout human history. This particular era is not unusual. The only thing that really changes is the technology and our attitudes towards certain things. I mean, I'm sure things that were acceptable even as far back as 10, 15, 20 years ago no longer acceptable, or at least in the minds of certain individuals. People have gotten a lot more sensitive these days. The biggest social change I see from the last 40 years, for 60 years I've been in existence, is social media. It used to be back in the analog days, we had to write letters. We had to make phone calls. We had to actually interact with people face to face. This, I think, gave us a sort of, unique sense of community. It gave us a unique sense of being able to think about what we're doing before we do it. When right now with social media, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing. It's just a thing. It's a tool like anything else. People can misuse it or they can benefit from it. I'm using social media right now. I'm putting a thing on YouTube, which normally I could never do. I mean, we used to have public access channels back in the day. For those of you who are not familiar with public access was a channel devoted on cable companies that allowed the public to create their own shows. I used to have a show in San Diego called Anime Review. I ran it for quite a number of years in the 1980s until I just decided it was time to stop. Or I think it was they actually changed the policy about who could actually be on public access, or maybe I think they just got rid of the public access thing altogether. I'm not sure. All I know is that I ran it for almost close to 10 years, and then I had to stop. I don't remember the circumstance, but it is what it was. So, also, when you wrote letters, you had to think about what you were writing. You had to think how to think it out. You had to sit down, type a letter, and think about what you were saying, then actually get an envelope, stamp it, and then mail it off, and then hopefully you get a reply. You didn't always do that, but also when we had newspapers, you would write letters to the editor commenting on certain stories. I wrote several letters to editors. And one in particular I remember was when there was an article in the newspaper, the lamb blasting video games, and I wrote a letter defending them. Now But that takes effort. That takes time and it takes effort. Most people didn't care about that. You know, there seems to be a lot of things that people are obsessed with that, to me, seems pointless and useless. You know, the and it seems like all it does is just fosters more outrage. It just seems to foster more and more negativity. I mean, if you think about it, who really cares what happens with these big entertainment corporations? Warner Brothers, Disney, Paramount, what have you. You know, you know. So what? You know, they're going through whatever decision they're going to make, and they're going to suffer the consequences of it. They'll benefit from the decision, or they'll suffer the consequences. Let the chips fall where they may. But to be obsessed with it, to be commenting on it all the time, what value does that have to you as an individual, other than just to make you angry? That's all it does. Or it makes you feel some sort of sense of schadenfreude, where you just feel like, oh yeah, they deserve everything that's coming to them. I don't wish ill on anybody. I don't wish ill on anything. There's enough suffering in this world without me piling onto it. I mean, yet I like to think that what I'm contributing to this world is something positive. I create comics. In the grand scheme of things, comics are not necessary to life. Comics are not needed to be for the most part. But I feel like if I do a comic and I can entertain someone out there, make them happy for a few minutes, reading my comic, then I have felt that I've contributed something positive to this world. That somehow the work that I put into it will make someone happy. Feel like, that make their day feel better. And, it's come to my conclusion that it's like, if more people just simply ignored things that are negative, just channel that energy into something creative, something positive, something, that will make someone, happy or be entertained, I think that's a good thing. That's good. I know that, positivity may not be in style, but I'll always believe that that's something, that I personally will want to try to achieve whenever possible. I see no need to put somebody down that I don't even know. When I go to a convention and, people bring me their portfolios, but we still look at portfolios, believe it or not. Anarchic Press as a company still looks at portfolios. You can bring your portfolio to one of us at our tables if we're at a convention, and I will be happy to look it over. I will try to point out things that need improvement. I'll try to say, well, this is close, but it's not necessarily what we think we're looking for. But I will always end it with a positive note, saying, look, if you work on these things and we want to try to resubmit again, we'll be happy to look at it. It always befuddled me when creators, seem to either ignore up and coming talent or feel the need to bring them down. I've heard many stories of creators saying, "Oh, you'll never make it in comics," or "This is awful. You'll, give it up." I mean, why would someone say that? It made no sense to me, and it still doesn't make any sense to me. I just wanted to say that it's just one of those things that I think we need less of. It's just, we need less of that kind of stuff. Now, I've been watching with interest this whole Velma thing and how people are just dogpiling on it. It's easy. It's very easy to insult something. You feel like in social media, you can say whatever you want, you can insult whoever you want, and you'll feel untouchable because the internet gives you that sort of distance. You know, but I think about all the people who worked on that show, all the hard work that went into it, all the money that was spent. I'm not necessarily saying that was money well spent. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, I'm sure every single person who worked at it felt like they were accomplishing something. That they were trying to know what their motive was. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I will say that this show wasn't meant for me. I have no interest in watching it. The subject matter doesn't intrigue me at all. But I'm not going to go out of my way to disparage it. Why should I? If I always believe the market will be the market. That if you put out something, the market will decide its failure or success. People are smart. They know what they like and what they dislike. I think that one of those things is one of the things I will try to avoid. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I attempted to try to do that in the early parts of my do. I figured, oh yeah, this is the formula. This is the way I'm going to make, myself a big, huge internet star, just by, disparaging, insulting, attacking, But I learned very quickly that wasn't in my nature. I'm not one to try to bring down people. I want people to succeed. I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to be happy. I know that may not always be the case, but I'm going to do whatever I can to try to make that happen. And I hope that, if we all work together to try to make this world a better place, that it will be. They say, hey man, that's kind of naive, don't you think, with all the stuff? Well, a lot of problems are self-inflicted. Whatever mentality someone has about something, that's just the way they are. I'll do what I can, to try to alleviate that, or at least to balance it. The yin and yang, as they say. So anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. If you would do the courtesy of like or subscribing, I'd appreciate it. You have my thanks. It's free, so you got nothing to lose. I also have 2 campaigns going. Now, I know that sounds maybe a little greedy, but I figured that as long as they were on 2 separate platforms, that I was good to go, and there were 2 separate things. I do have a Tomorrow Girl Volume 3 Fight for Justice campaign going on Indiegogo. It's a classic throwback to Silver Age superheroes. I think you'll like it, with a little manga spin. On Kickstarter, I have Mighty Tiny Tales of the Old Empire. It's a anthropomorphic story of where mice and rats. It's sort of a combination of Secret of Nim meets steampunk. I think it's a very nice all ages adventure. So check it out on Kickstarter. The links will be below. So I hope you all have a good weekend. Until next time, this has been Dunn, signing off.
She's got long hair and a hero cape on. She's the kind of girl who fights till dawn. She's a superhero, she'll save the day. One can mess with her, no one can sway. In the city of Quagmire, she's the talk of the town. Whenever there's trouble, she's always around. With her super strength and lightning speed, she fights for justice, fulfilling the need.